Good evening. This is your Friday, July 22nd tropical weather update. Well, you can see on my screen right now, this is the Atlantic satellite currently. Um, well, there's not much to talk about currently. The Atlantic is and has been during the past few weeks very quiet. Um, we could see here really just a giant blob of emptiness across the Atlantic right here. Um, and even in the Caribbean and Gulf, there's little to talk about. We have a decent tropical wave over here, but this is not really going to form on the Atlantic side of things, at least, due to land interaction. Only other real thing to talk about, we have the monsoon trough producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms west of Africa right now, but nothing's going to form. It's too weak and broad, and wind shear and dry air is going to be too high for any significant development of this. Well, let's look at, well, first of all, let's switch it over to the Eastern Pacific side of things, because the Eastern Pacific is a bit more active. Let's get that right. So, we have two areas of interest right now. We have one right here. This thing is probably, it's not going to form, I'll say that right now. The NHC only has 10-10 odds, but it should be gone by tomorrow. This is because it's really attached to the international tropical convergence zone, which is over here. This prevents significant development of anything when disturbances are connected to this convergence line. In addition, it's really weak, and you can see showers and thunderstorms are dissipating currently. We also have another AOI, which is around here, that the NC has marked 040 of development. It's likely associated. It is in fact associated with this tropical wave that I was just talking about here. It's expected to move offshore, and odds are much higher for development than this thing here. So let's get into that. Right, so this is the GFS model. Let's start here. So we could, well, first things first. This is oh wait, switch my screen right here. My bad. Right, so this is the GFS model. We could see that little disturbance right here. It's again only 10-10, and it's attached to this larger line of showers and thunderstorms that are associated with the international tropical convergence zone, and therefore, nothing significant can happen when a storm is that close to it. But also, we have this 040 area south of Mexico. Now let's look at that. So you can see here we have a large area of showers and thunderstorms. This is tomorrow, well, in a few hours actually. See that starts to head west and really develop. This is probably a tropical storm right here by 4 days. So this is by Tuesday here. Go a bit further, and well, it's still a bit sheared. We have showers, most of the shower and thunderstorm activity to the south and west of it. But I'm not going to go much further due to uncertainty. But this is 5 days out here. We have a decent tropical storm, and it does intensify after this. We also have another disturbance over here. Maybe the NGC will mark this. This also has a decent environment, but it's just a matter of whether it actually forms or not. The disturbance itself. So this could also be something to watch right here. Right. So let's look at. I want to mention when the Atlantic could get active again. Let me switch to that now. Hopefully it's up. Nope, it's not up. Alright, sorry about that. Now we have what I was trying to look at. Right, so this is a CFS model. And basically what you're seeing here is the MJO forecast. The MJO is the Mendel-Julian associate oscillation, and it basically means that in some areas of the world there's rising air, some areas there's sinking air. Green represents rising, and orange represents sinking here. Right, so this is this week, actually next week. We could see lots of rising air over Africa. Oh, whoops. What the? No. Alright. Lots of rising air over Africa. Lots of rising air over Africa, finally. And sinking air over the Western Pacific. What this means is two things. One, for the Western Pacific side of things, this means that the Western Pacific, which has been unusually inactive, will likely remain that way. This means for the Atlantic, well, tropical storms, for the most part, form from tropical waves in the Atlantic. And where do tropical waves originate from? Africa. When we have lots of rising air over Africa, it allows more tropical waves to develop. We have more tropical waves and just more opportunities for tropical storms to form. So, given we have rising air, this is 2 weeks out, this is the beginning of August, and then this is the middle of August, this model. This means that, well, the environment should be favorable for tropical waves, for more tropical waves to occur as we head into August. So we're likely gonna have more disturbances to watch in a few weeks at least, as the MJO becomes favorable and sets itself over Africa. You might be thinking to yourself, well, we have sinking air over the Atlantic right now, so how is this favorable? Well, this doesn't matter, because if we already have disturbances forming over Africa, they're not going to just die out because they're sinking air. We have the disturbances already, so they're not going to weaken just because they're sinking air. It doesn't quite work like that. So what this can do, though, is limit activity in the Pacific, since many Pacific disturbances don't form from tropical waves. But moving on, I want to get into the Euro model here. This is the 12Z European model. What's interesting is that they show one of these tropical waves forming and moving off of Africa. This is Tuesday morning, actually. We can see it here. It has a high latitude here, but which, given it has a high latitude, that allows more dry air to get entrained, because it's closer to the Sahara Desert and, well, a blob of dry air from the Bermuda High. Well, let's go a bit further and see what happens here. We can see it sort of weakens a bit as it heads westward, which again is kind of expected given how much dry air we have. However, this is, well, 240 hours out. We have the same tropical wave remaining here. It's a big question on what this tropical wave will do. The most certain part is that it will form. It won't form, but it will exist as tropical wave. But I do think the environment will get more favorable as it heads, west of, say, this line, given we have less dry air over here. So this can be something to watch. It's our first tropical wave that has been shown in the model significantly since Bonnie. However, even if it doesn't form, this will allow lesser dry air, and it filters out some dry air and Saharan dust from the environment for any more tropical waves to develop. And given that we just saw the MJO, which is really favorable, we're going to have a lot of tropical waves heading into this time frame here. We could have more disturbances and a more active hurricane season, or a more active period as we head into August here. So although the Atlantic has been inactive for the past few weeks, there are many indications that it'll start to get active again as we head into August and head more closer to the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season. Well, I think that's it for today. Thanks for watching.